Hi everyone. Uh, okay, I made a video earlier. But the I'm of course having a 15-minute time limit, so I I just want to rush things already. So I was talking about Lolita, Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita. Now, I have heard multiple people, um, especially women, talk about Lolita, and just in case you heard about the story, it's about a 37-year-old man named Humbert preying on a 12-year-old girl named Dolores Haze, who he nicknames Lolita. Vladimir Nabokov was inspired by his experience being sexually assaulted by his uncle, which is absolutely messed up. I mean, yeah. And even early on, before Stanley Kubrick's version of Lolita in 1962, people misinterpreted the novel after reading it, saying that Humbert was the victim and that Lolita was the villain. And if you don't know the story of Lolita, I mean, I've already said a bit of the summary of the story, but basically the perspective of the story is from Humbert, and he views what he thinks happened in the story with his affair with Dolores. Ugh. Okay. So I'm just gonna say this. I've seen the nymphet aesthetic, and I thought that, well, canonically, Dolores is a scrappy, tomboyish girl at 12 years old, and she has chestnut brown hair, gray eyes mistaken for blue, and she's 4'10", obviously, and I can't remember if a few of the articles state that Dolores is supposed to have freckles. Now, what I would imagine for Dolores wearing the aesthetic associated with herself would be Oxford shoes, Mary Janes, frilly socks, crop tops, sailor shorts, rompers, and two-piece sets. And there's no way I'm including dresses or even skirts, because sure, she's a girl and she does wear dresses some of the time. For her being a tomboy, I don't know if I would imagine her wearing dresses most of the time. Sorry. Now, I already know from early on when people read, that I've heard that people read the novel and misinterpreted Humbert as the victim and Dolores as the villain. And from some of the book covers, including the Kubrick movie poster having Sue Lyon's Lolita with heart-shaped sunglasses, looking into a rearview mirror with a lollipop in her mouth. And largely to blame for the whole misconception, mostly of the appearance of the Lolita character being a seductive girl with flirty eyelashes and red lipstick, is mostly due to one of the producers of the 1962 movie, James B. Harris, who at the time was in a relationship with 14-year-old Sue Lyon, who played Dolores Haze in the movie. yeah, yeah, I just, I, and I just want to say this, that, I can't remember when the heart-shaped sunglasses were first invented, but I'm pretty sure it happened during 1958. So, so they're not accurate to the time period that Lolita takes place. Lolita takes place in 1947 most of the time, but at the end it takes place in 1952. Now, I obviously know that in the movies, both the 1962 and 1979, 1997 adaptations, that Dolores Haze does not wear heart-shaped sunglasses, not even in promotional material. She doesn't wear them in the movie. They probably don't even exist during the 1940s, obviously. So why were the heart-shaped sunglasses chosen for Lolita? I have no idea, but I don't care. Anyway, I'm just trying to rush this as much as possible. There's construction going outside, and honestly, my brain is just feeling a little tired. Just a little bit. Anyway, I also wanted to talk about Lolita involving FNAF. I remember hearing about Springtrap and Delilah. Now, Delilah is a 14-year-old girl, and I would like to say this to you that, oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that in the story, Dolores is a 12-year-old who goes to camp and has sex with a 13-year-old, and she, Humbert, her mother, and one of the other characters, Claire Quilty, died. All of them died, and okay, you know what? Delilah is a 14-year-old girl, and her being a 14-year-old girl would automatically make her a nymphette in Humbert's mind, because his preference for nymphets involve 9 to 14-year-old girls, including Dolores, who's 12. Now, the creator of the Springtrap and Delilah comics shipped the two characters together and made artwork of them in suggestive sexual positions, and would roleplay as them with friends. And one of the roleplay parts of the story involved Delilah telling her father that Springtrap raped her, which, ew. And I'm just glad to never think about that again. But also, Pinky Pills did a comic where she imagined William Afton looking at a little girl hurting herself, and William Afton fantasizing about that little girl, telling him that would he like to cut her up like a lamb, and he's like, yes, I would want to. God, just God. And also, after the FNAF movie came out, Piper Rubio and other kid actors made their own TikTok accounts, monitored by their parents, obviously, because they're children and they're probably not allowed to have their own social media accounts unless they're like 13, 14 or older. But anyways, I remember seeing edits of Piper Rubio's character Abby certain clips from the film, and with sounds like inappropriate music, and maybe even some captions, and that people in the comments were absolutely disgusted by these people editing Piper Rubio from the film and having inappropriate music in the videos. And Piper's parents actually made a TikTok addressing the situation, which honestly I'm relieved about. Thank you, Piper Rubio's parents. You have no idea how this means to me or anyone else who've seen these edits and are uncomfortable with them. And I just feel like people are a few people are just desperately wanting their FNAF version of Lolita. I just don't know. I don't know anymore. And I also said this in the first video that I did earlier, that Dolores has, even though Dolores is not a seductive child at 12 years old, she tells Humbert, after Dolores' mother died and they're in a hotel, and Dolores tells Humbert that she had sex at camp with a 13-year-old kid, and she's still 12. And so Humbert takes it as an initiative to have sex with her. Even though Dolores is mostly the victim, she had sex at 12 years old. And that's still wrong. She engaged in sexual activity because her friends were doing it and they thought it was fun or interesting or just wanted to experiment. I don't know. I can't remember. But all I know is that all of them were in the wrong. Humbert, Claire, Dolores, Charlotte, all of them. Humbert being a pedophile, Dolores having sex at 12 years old. The first of her having sex was mostly due to her wanting to experience sexual activity because her friends wanted to do it as well. And Charlotte sending her daughter to camp, and after that she would send Dolores to a Catholic boarding school with strict discipline, which honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, would be the best decision. So I'm probably okay with Charlotte sending her daughter to a strict Catholic boarding school, even though it was a little too late to have Humbert in her life, and Charlotte died, obviously. And Humbert abducted Dolores, and, all of this stuff happened, and Claire Quilty a little worse than Humbert, but him getting under Humbert's skin was kind of satisfying, but still, they're both terrible people and they deserve to die. All of them probably deserve to die. Dolores, she was still a child, and she probably doesn't even know any better. She had sex when she was 12 years old because her friends wanted to engage in sexual activity. I can't remember, but all I know is that Dolores is still a 12-year-old child, and maybe she was still naive, but oh my God, the fact that she had sex at camp at 12 years old just makes me uncomfortable. Really. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it or not. Bye.